The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Tonight, a historic holiday storm. Fierce winds and record cold turns deadly. Our region gripped by falling trees, icy roads, and widespread outages. Plus, mayhem at airports across the U.S. Thousands of flights canceled, all during a mad dash to see family for the holidays. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 10 on DCW 50. I'm Ben Dennis. One of the most widespread winter weather warnings and advisories ever. That's how the National Weather Service characterizes this gigantic storm. More than 2/3 of the U.S. under some sort of weather alert. And the extreme weather now being blamed for several deaths. In our area, Maryland seemed to get the brunt of the damage. Trees crashing through homes, onto yards, and in Frederick, Maryland, a driver killed after a large tree fell onto their car. And just into our newsroom, a power line outage and downed power lines bringing Amtrak trains to a halt. Right now, we're told all trains are stopped between Baltimore and Washington. Crews are working to get them back up and running as soon as possible. We will keep you updated. And rounding up power outages in our area, several thousand Pepco customers are still in the dark across Maryland and D.C. And the company says because of the widespread damage, some people won't get their power back until tomorrow. Dominion Energy crews have restored power to more than 75% of customers. They say their goal is to get power back to the majority of customers by 11 p.m. also tomorrow night. Meantime, some 20,000 Potomac Edison customers are still without power in Maryland and West Virginia. And tonight we're bringing you team coverage throughout the DMV, everything from weather damage to last-minute holiday shoppers making a mad dash for gifts. But first, Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb with the latest on the bone-chilling forecast. Janessa, major concerns tonight.
Yeah, we have temperatures that have dropped about 25 to 35 degrees in about a 6-hour span. And so this is a record-breaking Arctic cold front that is bringing some harsh conditions across the region. Right now, wind chills, factoring in the winds and the ambient temperature, 26 below out towards Kaiser, 17 below for Cumberland. If you are outside at for a prolonged period of time, you have a huge problem across this area. It feels like 1 degree for the district, and so that is fluctuating. We've been seeing over the last couple of hours going back down to sub-zero range and then back up to about 1 degree. It's all the same at this point. It is very frigid. It is very dangerous cold that we are seeing, and also you're dealing with some drifting snow out towards Winchester into the Hagerstown area, nearly 20 below in that area. That's why advisories, I do believe this should be upgraded for Martinsburg, Hagerstown, Winchester to Woodstock as a warning because they're nearing that 20 below range. And so it's very dangerous cold that's seeping in, and I don't see any big relief as we go into your Christmas holiday. Power outages are a huge issue because now Montgomery County, it is starting to grow across that area where we're starting to see more widespread outages for customers, even for Prince George's County as well. They're kind of isolated around the rest of the region, but still, when you're talking about temperatures this cold without power, you have a serious problem. Please hear me. No generators in homes or garages. Carbon monoxide is a huge focal point for tonight, especially I know when you get in desperate situations, you just want electricity back. I understand, but please just give the power people a little bit of time to restore that. Now, partly cloudy skies for the rest of the evening as we wake up to your Saturday, your Christmas Eve. Hey, we're talking about a ton more sunshine, but the cold air is still going to be intact along with the breeze. We'll look at that forecast coming up.
All too important information there, Janessa. Thank you. Back to that tragic scene. And just before Christmas, a driver traveling through Frederick, Maryland, killed after a large tree had crushed their car. It happened on Maryland Route 77 near Tower Road in Smithsburg. Investigators say wind blew the tree over. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. And staying in Maryland, a woman was hospitalized after a tree crushed her home in Laurel. It's one of many issues people in Prince George's County are dealing with from the weather. Here's our Yamari Sase.
This tree caused a lot of damage here at this Laurel home. As you can see on this side of the house, part of the roof is completely collapsed, and neighbors tell me they're just happy that the person injured is safe.
I'm praying for them. I know it's tough times now, and I was just shocked. I was in shock when I saw the tree fall.
I was just amazed by seeing the damage on that house, and we were just wondering, hopefully the people inside, our neighbors, are fine.
That was nearby neighbors' reaction when they saw the damage on their way home.
I knew the wind was blowing. I didn't know it had blown that hard.
According to Prince George's County Fire Department, around 11 Friday morning, they responded to a collapse investigation. A woman was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, but she's expected to survive.
Sad to have this happen at any time, but especially at this time, going to displace the people in the house because it doesn't look like you can live in the house. So, yeah, it's just very sad, and hopefully that they are fine, and we'll definitely pray for them.
Just 10 minutes away, traffic was backed up near Van Dusen Road. Laurel police say they had to close down the road after a dump truck hit power lines. And in Bowie, nearly 700 people are without power tonight. The city opened up their gymnasium as a warming center until 10 o'clock. And they're working with BGE to find out how long it's going to take to restore power. As for other people in the county, they're just trying to figure out how to stay warm.
Well, having all my blankets and my pillows next to me, maybe a teddy bear or two, some hot cocoa, and just try to stay indoors as possible.
Reporting in Prince George's County, Maryland, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
Thanks to Yamari. Take a look here. A huge tree uprooted in a Potomac neighborhood. This along Reach Road, just off Falls Road. Thankfully, it doesn't look like any of the damage ended up hitting that house. And do you hear that? It's the sound of winds whipping through Tenleytown today, 45 miles an hour. Those are some strong gusts there. And the district is under a cold emergency tonight. That means additional support and services are available to protect people from life-threatening freeze. Warming shelters and overnight shelters are available to anyone who needs a place to stay. And you can get a free ride there by dialing 311. It's the shelter hotline.
People can call on behalf of someone that they're just worried about. It's important to even call 911. 911 also can dispatch our shelter hotline to come pick up individuals. So we need to be good neighbors.
And turning now, we are just 2 days before Christmas, and still malls and shopping centers all around the DMV were packed with people buying last-minute gifts. DC News Now Cheyenne Corin spent the day talking to shoppers at Westfield Montgomery Mall.
You're exactly right. The line to even get into Westfield Montgomery Mall is miles long, but that nor the cold weather is stopping people from getting some last-minute gifts.
If I knew about the weather, yeah, I would have come today. I would have come yesterday or maybe like 2 weeks before.
A lot of shoppers regretting their decision to procrastinate on their holiday shopping and now having to do so in bitterly cold weather.
Last minute shopping is not worth it. You should do all your shopping early and ahead of time because you never know what will happen, and it's really cold right now.
But the cold didn't stop people from seeing Santa and his elves, even if that means waiting in this long line.
I've never felt Maryland this cold. It feels like it's below zero.
This year is expected to be the coldest Christmas we have seen in decades, but some people say that puts them in the holiday spirit.
I love the cold. It only comes once a year, and we have to enjoy it.
I miss seeing people and, being out. Holiday spirit.
And to all of the last-minute shoppers' defense, experts actually say that inflation is to blame for the procrastination. They say that many people are more concerned about affording things such as food and rent, that gifts was one of the last things on their minds. Reporting in Bethesda, I'm Cheyenne Corin for DC News Now.
Thanks to Cheyenne. In the district, people brave the cold to enjoy all kinds of holiday activities, believe it or not. And reporter Marielle Carbone spoke to families all over town. And they say that they're not scared of a little cold weather.
No, people are not scared of the cold, but just because they are out here doesn't mean they aren't taking this weather seriously. They have their hats on, their gloves, their scarves on, and people tell me they are doing all of this just in the name of family. The wind is whipping and the temperature dropping.
It is rough.
Freezing. But that didn't stop Vanessa Trevino and Elizabeth Law from braving the cold on Friday.
The trick is layers. Yeah. So I have sweater tights on, and then I have my cozy tights, and then I have my jeans.
They were just two of the many people at the downtown holiday market buying those last-minute gifts despite below freezing temperatures.
We just bought some shower bombs, and it's supposed to be like aromatherapy too.
These really cool prints from that stand down there.
Father and daughter Rich and Danny Avis say it's worth it to enjoy some holiday cheer.
Cold's not a big deal for us, I don't think. We just bundled up.
We got about another hour in us before we have to go inside.
At the wharf,
I'm just bearing through for the love of my kids.
It's all about family time for the Sewells, who spent the afternoon on ice.
I wanted to come outside so that I could spend time with my family.
So how cold does it feel when you guys are out here?
Freezing, like literally ice. I feel like ice, but I kind of don't care at this point. I've gotten numb, so at this point I don't feel anything.
So how long can you stay out here now that you already know?
Probably another hour.
This is one and done. After this, we're gonna stay home. We're gonna do hot toddies. We're gonna do the Mexican hot chocolate.
Yeah, I think we all need to head over to Vanessa and Elizabeth's tonight for that hot chocolate. But in all seriousness, if you are planning to spend time outside over the next few days, you want to take precautions. You want to make sure that your skin is not exposed, wear lots of layers, and make sure you're limiting your time outside. Reporting in Georgetown tonight, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
And about that air travel causing major headaches for people across the country. Today alone, more than 5,000 flights were canceled in and out of the U.S. That doesn't include the more than 8,000 delays and counting. Now take a look at a beautiful view from Reagan National Airport tonight. Planes landing on the tarmac, but not without some pilots having to navigate with some of those wind gusts. And travelers, well, they told us that they had hours-long wait to catch a flight. And that's why our Dave LaValle spent the day talking to flyers at Reagan. Take a listen.
Things got a bit scary early Friday morning as some flights dealt with severely strong winds while they landed. Well, those winds have calmed down quite a bit since then, only to be replaced with brutally cold wind chill factors. As for passengers, they had other challenges to deal with here.
Since yesterday, or really since Wednesday.
That's how long the Hyla family of Fairfax has waited to fly to Canada to visit family. Cancellations at Reagan National Airport delayed their journey.
We had a flight yesterday around like 5 or so, but then that got canceled, or at least it got delayed to the point where we were supposed to fly to Charlotte, and then it got delayed to the point where when we would land is when we would need to board our connecting flight. The Hylas are not the only ones waiting to leave.
My flight home back to Iowa got delayed, it got delayed and then delayed again and then finally canceled while I was on the train ride over here.
Reagan National and Dulles International airports dealt with hundreds of delays and cancellations Friday, according to FlightAware.com.
Honestly, very frustrating.
Yet others take it in stride.
I'm just grateful right now that God has blessed us to get here at this point, and He'll carry us through till the next one.
Amen. We are elated. We don't care where we are, just as long as we're together.
This is all just a part of traveling if you're a Midwesterner. The cancellations, the snow delays, the cold. It's just all, you just gotta take it with a grain of salt and just wake up the next day and hope you can make it.
Meanwhile, Baltimore-Washington International Airport dealt with close to 300 cancellations and delays. Just a reminder to check with your airline before you go to the airport. At Reagan National, Dave LaValle, DC News Now.
And if you're in town, there are plenty of things to do in the DMV this holiday weekend. Whether you want to grab hot chocolate and go ice skating, or drive through a magical display of holiday lights, you've got options for drive-through displays. There's the Festival of Lights at Watkins Regional Park in Prince George's County, Maryland, free on Sunday. There's also the Symphony of Lights at Meriwether Post Pavilion in Columbia, Maryland, and Bull Run Festival of Lights at Bull Run National Park in Centerville, Virginia. For indoor light displays, check out Arctic House and Ice at Gaylord National. For skate lovers, there's Enchant Christmas at the Nats Park, Washington Harbor Ice Rink, and the Wharf. In Virginia, spots include Pentagon Row Skating and Reston Town Center. And coming up, how this winter storm may punish holiday procrastinators.
Were you talking to me?
Still talking to you now.
I'm that procrastinator. Oh no.
Called you out.
Okay, let's get you your local ski report out towards Timberline. Wow, you see that drifting snow? That's due to blizzard-like conditions for the higher terrain. Let's get some skiing done over the weekend. If you're headed to Wisp, we have 3 lifts that are open, and at the base, about 16 inches of snow on the ground, so that's really good here. Snowshoe Mountain now towards West Virginia, 17 lifts open, 45 inches of good, fresh new snow that we're talking about. And out towards Virginia, you only have Bryce Resort that has 3 lifts open and a good amount of snowpack. Hopefully you get some skiing done this weekend. We'll be right back.